I wanted your assurance also that the areas that are outside of the zone but directly impacted, such as Wilson Junction, we've got Wilson Junction Station, and Harlesden and Acton would also be invested in, because they obviously will be impacted by the wider development as well.
The short answer is yes, and the reason why is because it will take some time for the station we're looking forward to seeing the sort of interchange happening. In the meantime, homes are being built, businesses are moving there, and so one of the things we've got to do is to make sure that current stations improve and are invested in to meet the demand. And frankly speaking, because we know in the past there's been delays with Crossrail High Speed 2. What we don't want is a situation where people want to move there but are deterred from doing because they're waiting for High Speed 2. That's why it's really important to get the investment, and I can give them that assurance.
Okay, and just from a sort of business and commercial perspective, so the just amount of data centres that we have in the area are increasing across West London as well. What conversations are being had with some of those organisations to see how the future of the area itself is impacted by that going forward?
So in terms of data centres, and so we are speaking to the government as well, because there is a concern in relation to the grid for obvious reasons. We're also keen to make sure we can use the waste to heat homes and so forth, which would be a first, which is really important in terms of a circular economy as well. Just to let him know, because I was interested in this area, that the New London Plan will also look into the issue of planning when it comes to new data centres as well. There are concerns we've got to recognise in relation to the amount of energy they use, the amount of water they need, and so forth. And I think we've got to recognise it's not all upside in relation to data centres, and so we've got to recognise there are some trade-offs as well. That's one of the reasons why I'm sure when it comes to the New London Plan, they'll be looking into those issues as well.
Thank you. Yeah, just obviously just to reiterate that need, just because of the importance of making sure that when it is built up, we have the power that is needed in the area to service those homes as well. Thank you.
Okay, so let's, unless there's further questions from anybody, let's move on to the Oxford Street Development Corporation. Assembly Member Boff.
Your decision to pedestrianise Oxford.
Assembly Member Boff.
Your decision to pedestrianise Oxford Street West proceeds despite your own consultation, identifying concerns about increased congestion, longer bus journey times, and reduced accessibility for older and disabled Londoners. At a time when you're cutting staff, cutting police officers, cutting scrutiny of the Met, cutting bus routes, and increasing the council tax for working Londoners, isn't spending an extra £18 million on the Oxford Street Vanity project an indication of how you have got Londoners' priorities totally wrong?
Well, I'm not sure the member understands how a global economy like London works, so let me explain it to him. So if we've got profitable businesses, if we've got a vibrant town centre, if we have the nation's high street not in managed decline but flourishing and thriving because the business are doing so well, that means more revenues coming into not just the Exchequer but also to City Hall that we can use for public services. And when I tell him that at the moment, even with a Oxford Street that is not as flourishing as it should be, not as thriving as it should be, that the businesses on that street pay in that community pay more in business rates than all the businesses in Birmingham, Bristol, Newcastle, Nottingham, Leicester, Liverpool, Manchester, Sheffield put together, but they're complaining about the lack of investment and vision to Oxford Street. And they are saying if this was a more vibrant street, if it was pedestrianised, we could contribute more. He would be aware then that actually investing in this is a good way of pump priming future investment in London, future receipts for the Exchequer, for City Hall, for the councils, which can be used to provide better public services, better jobs for Londoners and those elsewhere as well.
So you're actually saying that we want to make an Oxford Street that is welcoming to foreigners, but not welcoming to the disabled, not welcoming to the elderly, not welcoming to bus users. Are they your priorities, Mr. Mayor?
Well, I'm really surprised in the tone of what the member is saying, because TfL are working really closely with disability groups, ranging from Age UK to RNIB to Guide Dogs to London Sight, London Council to Blind Ambition. I could go on a whole list of groups TfL are working with to make sure that those who are usually have accessibility issues, not just in Oxford Street, but across the city and across the country, have the most accessible Oxford Street possible. And I'm confident that working with TfL and the design team at Oxford Street Development Corporation, this will be a fantastic, flourishing project. And just like with other policies of the last 10 years, I'm looking forward to the apology and recognition that I was right and the Tories were wrong.
Okay, right. Take another deep breath. We've now reached the end of the question and answer session. Thank you to the Mayor and the officers for answering our questions today. The Assembly will now adjourn and return in 1 hour 15 minutes,
1:35, Chair.
which is 1:35 to continue the meeting.